Jess Wilson.
Yes.
You're aware of her, state opposition leader. Is she cutting through? Is she talking to people? She's been over 100 days in the job. Parliamentary website still hasn't worked out that she's leader. They call her shadow treasurer still. Is she getting through? Is she getting through? And if not, why? See, I think her best advantage is she's not Jacinta. But I want to know from people whether they are listening to her. Is she cutting through? She's killing them on social media. And this used to be Dan Andrews' strength, social media.
He had 90 taxpayer-funded people doing it for him.
I doubt she has got that. But she's regularly on Instagram walking and talking and policy. I think that's a good idea. She's cutting through. But have a listen to this. She's put these are her policies she released last night on Instagram. This is a 1-minute summary, of what the Liberal Party stands for in Victoria.
There's roughly 10 months until the Victorian election. Here are just 10 policies that my team will deliver in government.
We'll protect young Victorians from meningococcal B by fully funding the vaccine for babies and teenagers.
We're going to restore parental choice by abolishing Labor's payroll tax for every Victorian school.
We'll restore confidence in the budget by implementing a real-time public expenditure tracker.
We will stop Labor's crime crisis and close their revolving door bail system.
We will protect Victorians from family violence by making coercive control a crime.
We're going to make holidays easier and more affordable by scrapping Labor's holiday and tourism tax.
We'll back our CFA volunteers and our regional communities by scrapping Labor's emergency services tax.
We will drive down cost blowouts by introducing a Construction Enforcement Victoria body that will be a tough cop on the beat on big build projects.
We will crack down on youth crime by investing in early intervention.
We'll reduce cost of living and Labor's energy bills by removing their gas bans.
Together, we'll deliver a fresh start for Victorians.
No, policy by press release. No detail. Now, maybe you don't need detail these days.
You're not going to get in detail in an Instagram post, Neil.
Yeah, so why are you doing it? Well, at least point me to some policies. I had a look on the website. They're not there. They've got 4 policies on their website and they're still thin. I don't think they've got policies.
Okay, the youth voter to whom that is aimed at
That's true.
doesn't care about that. There might be 1 or 2 things in there they like. Why did they lead with meningococcal vaccines?
That's the other thing. These are all the shadow ministers outlining. The order's all wrong.
Yes.
Cost of living, number one. What are you going to do about that? And that's where she's got a problem. I've got some advice for Jess Wilson, which will impress her no end. I think she's got to soften up. She comes across still as a sort of lecturing head prefect. I think she's got to appoint an attack dog and stop attacking herself. Put Matthew Guy in, let him do it. I think she's got to be positive. She's got to show us some detail eventually. As I said, the best thing she's got going for her is she's not Jacinta. But be honest with us. I mean, if you believe that, they're going to reduce taxes and increase spending, but they're going to cut debt. How? It's going to be tough.
What were the spending pledges in that? I heard lots of tax cut, which is great.
Well, I suppose the spending pledge is when you cut tax, don't you? Because you lose revenue.
Yeah. Okay.
You cut taxes, you lose money.
Okay, but what did she committed to in that 1 minute to spend money on, apart from a vaccine that I could hear?
Oh, was it the big build one? There was another one.
Yeah, that was
corruption.
Yeah, that was an oversight or a watchdog, which is not going to cost a huge amount of money.
But what does she need to do to get through to people? Do you like Jess Wilson? Do you support Jess Wilson? Do you think she's an alternative premier? I'll tell you the other thing she's got to stop doing. She did it yesterday. She said, the big issue for my generation is housing. That's true, no question. But stop telling us she's of that generation. She's there to represent all of us.
That's a good point.
And if I stood up and said, we've got to do this for all the boomers.
Oh, my God, boomers. Oh, my God, they're the worst.
What is Jess Wilson doing right? What she's doing wrong? Has she cut through to the public? I reckon most people don't know who she is. And that's not her fault. That's just the way politics is.
Okay, what's behind? Because there's, if you ask me, very few coincidences in life, certainly in Spring Street. Why has she not been updated on the website?
Well, I don't know. Brad Batten's been removed as leader. Oh, it's just sloppiness, that's all. Nobody really looks at the website, do they? You think it's conspiracy?
They do. Yes, of course it is.
No.
It's the government saying, just let's humiliate them a bit.
The government wouldn't run the website.
Well, who runs the website
Or
then?
a very important clerk of the house or something. I really think she needs to soften up. Everybody tells me who knows her. Everybody tells me she's a nice person. She's a very warm and generous person. She's not showing it. She's getting up there lecturing us, hectoring us. That's why she needs an attack dog, and she can rise above it all and be the the statesman-like leader.
Okay, in what other ways does she need to be the anti-Jacinta?
Well, she is the anti-Jacinta.
No, but if you were to, let's say, amplify your differences...
Be warm, be accessible, be honest. And being honest means telling us the tough stuff. It's going to hurt. To get this state back on track, it is going to hurt. Let's not pretend that we can increase spending and reduce taxes and also get out of debt. We can't. You can clean up some of the inefficiencies, but you can't clean up that many.
What if she had committed to getting some of that $15 billion of stolen money that the government gave to organised crime?
Well, I suppose she sort of is, because she'd have a Royal Commission and try and track it down.
Terry, your thoughts on the new leader of the state opposition?
Yeah, all right, guys. I think, Neil, people like journalists like yourself want to read the policy front to back and understand every fine thing for loopholes, but the general public and the general voters, they really only want to know what are the headlines, what do I need to know, and how is it going to impact me in a snapshot. They don't want to sit there and read 100 pages of policy. They just want to know how's it going to impact me, give me the headlines. And in terms of Jess Wilson, I mean, she's not in my demographic, I'm in my 50s, but I think she's a pretty impressive young individual that brings a lot of energy. I think she can actually be a really good premier.
I think you're right, Terry, in that people don't want policies, but you want some assurance there is meat behind the headlines. Hey, interesting point though, Terry. Jeff Kennett was a similar age when he was leader, first leader of the opposition. Then he got flicked and came back again. I can never remember anybody debating whether he was too young. Is it different to have a young woman than a young man as leader? What do you think?
I think true, and every time I've heard her speak, I've been impressed. I think she's not an idiot. I think she could do a really good job.
You don't want... Well, am I wrong to want warmth?
Warmth? I just want competence and honesty. That's all I want in a premier.
One Nation has more detail in its policies.
Well, that might explain why it's surging dramatically in the polls.
The more detail in the Roy Morgan poll released today, 26.5. Oh, there we go. One Nation 26.5, ALP 25.5, Coalition 21.5. One Nation has picked up 26 percentage points since the last election. Thank you.
Why do you think that is?
Because the others are not relating to people, and that's one. Look, I'm sure Jess Wilson is a very nice person.
Okay, you wouldn't call Pauline Hanson warm. She's not warm.
No, but
then why is she working? Why is she working as a leader?
Because she's not Labor or Liberal, and they're both screwing it up. I mean, Elbow apologising and these sort of things. She's
consistent. She said the same thing for 25 years and has not deviated. That's why people like her. Paul, good afternoon. Paul, we got you there?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, you got me.
Your thoughts, please.
Hi, Tony, hi, Neil.
Jess Wilson.
I think the biggest thing... I think she's got the biggest thing she's got going for her is that she's not Jacinta. But I think what she should do is she should bang the anti-corruption drum a lot louder.
Yeah.
We're all tightening our belts. We're all feeling the cost of living. We're all being taxed to the back teeth. If she said, they're wasting your money. They're wasting your money. That started with Andrews, $1 billion on a freeway we never built, a desalination plant which no one's using, and $15 billion to the CFMEU. While you guys all have to tighten your belts, we're splashing your cash around.
I think that's a fair point. She's been trying to do that. But again, I repeat the point, and I hate to talk up Matthew Guy, but it maybe he is not factionally aligned to Jess, I don't know. But he does it well. He talks with passion, he talks with anger, and he talks with humour. He will send things up at the right time. If I was Jess Wilson, Matthew, you go for it on everything, briefed by me. You go for it, and I'll be here and rise above it all and say, oh, thank you, Matthew.
Sweet and sour.
Brax and Rob
Halsey. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Paul. G'day, Alice.
Hey, chaps. Neil, you said Jess' biggest benefit is that she's not Jacinta.
Yes.
But they look the same and they sound the same.
The Battle of the Bobs, somebody called it. Yes.
Send a parted blonde bob, and let me be very clear, they both speak with the same intonation.
Has she started saying that? Let me be perfectly clear, and then talking
she's
crap?
Bust out some of those standard lines.
Oh, dear.
And I think to the average voter who's not up with politics, how do they tell them apart?
I think that's a really good point. Who am I voting? Which blonde? Which am I voting for?
Well, it's Coles and Woolies again, isn't
but
it?
that's why she's got to change a little bit and be that warm and that statesman-like, I think.
Alice, what would you like to hear from her that would differentiate her from the current Premier?
A little more humanity in the way she communicates.
Yes.
And so it's not just the standard PR lines that they're trotting out.
I think that's...
Actually connect with people and recognise the difficulties people are facing.
You've just
and
said...
that they want less government, not more.
You just said exactly what I was trying to say in a lot more words. You're spot on.
Less government, not more.
You can't relate to Jacinta. You can't relate to Elbow. You couldn't relate to Susan Lee. And I think it's very hard to relate to Pauline Hanson, but at least, as you say, she hasn't changed.
Mm.
Whereas Elbow and the rest of them will change at a moment's notice.